So did you figure it out? Were you able to create something that looks similar to this? Let's go ahead and learn how I did it. So I'm here on my timeline. I'm just going to duplicate this video clip by pressing Option, clicking and dragging it over to the side, Alt if you're using a PC. Then I'm going to go and click the New Item button and say Title. I'll call this Phil Ebner. That pops up the title creator. I'm going to use my type tool, click right here, and type in Phil Ebner. I'm going to take my selection tool, change the text to Railway, one of my favorite fonts, change from thin to medium, and then change the small caps, click on the small caps and change small cap size to 100. And I'll just position it right about there. Exit out of there and drag this Phil Ebner title card on top of this video clip. I'm gonna zoom in right there and extend it to the end of this video clip so this title card is on the whole time. Then I'm going to simply duplicate this title card. A cool trick to do that is by option clicking and dragging, just like we did the video, and that actually creates a completely separate title card in our project. If you just copy and paste the original title card, it's not going to create an actual separate version, meaning if you then go ahead and edit that copy you made, it's going to also edit the original. But by creating a completely new version, by duplicating it with the Option or Alt button and clicking and dragging, now we have this separate title card. I'll call this Video Creator. And then I'll go in here. It doesn't change the name on here unless I then go and drag Video Creator right here. Again, if you want to do that, you can, just to be more clear. And I'm just going to double click that title card. It already has this text because we duplicated it, and I'm just going to move it down, double click inside, press Command A or Control A if you're on a PC to select all of that text, and type in Video Creator. And I'm going to press my selection tool, change the medium to bold, change the size from 100 to 50, and then just move it over to the right side like something so it's about aligned with the right edge of Phil Ebner, and maybe just move it down a little bit. I'm selecting that text and pressing down on my keyboard so that there's enough space in between for a little line. That looks pretty good. Then what I'm going to do is I can either just quickly duplicate one of these or create a new title card, and I'm going to call this line and then open it up right here. I'm going to select the text and delete it, the Video Creator text that we duplicated from before, then choose this line tool right here. Then I'm going to click on the left side of Phil, drag over to the right while holding the Shift button down. While holding the Shift button down, it locks it to this axis, so it's a straight line. If I don't have the Shift arrow down, it's easy to mess up and create a line that is slanted. So hold Shift down to create a straight line, something about there. And then I'm going to change the line width over here to 3. And if I click on Selection Tool and then click off this, you can see what it looks like. And maybe I just need to nudge it over to the right or left a little bit by selecting and using my arrow keys to move it to the left or right. That looks pretty darn good. Then I'm going to exit out of this. Now let's add the motion and the transition that we had in the first clip. Let me just show you what that was. Phil Ebner fades on, moves on to the left. Video Creator fades on, moves to the right. Those are pretty basic. And then the last one is this line, which is going to be a little bit harder. So let's just go to the very beginning of our title card. Really anywhere is fine actually. And we'll start with Phil Ebner. Go up to your effects controls, go down under motion, and we'll set a keyframe for position. And then we're going to drag that position keyframe just to the right a little bit. And then with our timeline still at somewhere else in the beginning of our clip, we're going to drag the position to the right. So now this creates this animation from right to left of the title card. And I'm just going to drag this first keyframe, or the one that we created in the of the motion, the second keyframe we created all the way to the left, so it starts at the very beginning of this title card. We're also going to fade it on. We can do that by just right-clicking and applying the default transition, or we can create a custom opacity animation. Starting from 0, set that keyframe, it automatically will if you type in 0, and then going to 100. So moving forward in the timeline and setting that to 100. And you'll see now it automatically creates this transition, and I want it to fade on and fade on completely before it ends its motion. So you can see that it fades on completely and then it continues to move just a little bit. So let's do the same thing for video creator. So I'm going to select video creator. I'm going to set a position and opacity keyframe. This is an easy way to do both at one time. Move these over to the right and just move the position just a little bit further to the right so that it lasts a little bit longer. And then with the position, I'm going to move to the left actually this time. So move to the left and then drag that keyframe all the way to the left. And set our opacity at 0 and drag that all the way to the left. So let's see what this looks like. Pretty good. Fades on, nice. A little bit slower than before, but I like it. I'm going to nudge the video creator text title card over to the right just a little bit, just so that it fades on after the first text pops on. I think staggering animations like this helps make your videos a little bit more dynamic. And then lastly, let's think about this line. How are we going to animate this line on? Select that text or that title card, go up to motion. Under scale, you see this uniform scale check mark. Uncheck that. What that means is we can animate the width and the height of the whatever it is, the title card separately. So if I do the height, if I go all the way down to 0, it disappears. If I go width, it is squeezing this title card. But it's kind of weird because you see that it's squeezing this in to the right. And what's actually happening is, imagine this whole title card, it's squeezing it in. Let me just quickly show you what it means. I want to show you exactly what that means. I'm duplicating that title card. I'm just going to create a circle, something like this. Now, if I go to this title card and squeeze it with the scale width, see what's happening? It's squeezing the whole title card. So that hopefully that makes more sense now when you see this title card, just the line squeezing in. So what we have to do actually is move this line to the center so that it squeezes in. So let's double click that, select this line, and just click this horizontal center button. It moves it to the center. Don't worry, we're going to move it back in the right place later on, but this is for creating that animation. So I'm going to set a keyframe for width at 100, move that to the right a little bit, and then set the scale to 0. Now you see that it squeezes and it grows from the very center. I'm going to select both keyframes, move to the left. Make sure that we don't lose it. Just move the first one all the way to the left side and make sure that it's at 0. Yep, we're good. We can play through this. Now it looks pretty good. Maybe we want it to be a little bit faster, so move this second keyframe in. Now we just have to put it in the right place. So I'm going to drag my position over to the left. So I'm just clicking and dragging that position to the left. So now it's right in the original spot. And now it grows on like so. We want it to slowly grow on a little bit more with a little bit more oomph, make it a little bit more dynamic. So I'm going to right click, select both of them, right click them, and say ease in. So that's going to make it grow on a little bit in a more dynamic way. So it slows down as it gets bigger. And we want to make sure that we go to the final resting spot of the text. As you can see here, I put the line at the wrong position. It's a little bit too far to the right. So make sure that you go on your timeline to the spot where the text stops moving and then move the position of the line so it's aligned with the final resting spot of the text. That's pretty darn cool. I might just nudge this just a little bit more, the line, so that it pops on a little bit after the Phil Ebner text. That's pretty darn cool. That's all created in Adobe Premiere Pro. Hopefully you were able to create something similar to this. If not, hopefully this helped you understand how you can do it and opens up the wide world of creating motion graphics right within Adobe Premiere Pro. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next lesson.